again, Levy, with another cooking video. We're making suya and jollof rice. This is my cayenne pepper, my paprika, my black pepper, and white pepper. I have on this plate ginger, garlic powder, onion powder, bouillon cube, Jamaican curry, and we're gonna use all that to season our kuli kuli. Here we have our kuli kuli straight from Africa that I already grounded. And we have our meat of choice. I have steak. I think it's the best to make suya. I have my Dorica tomato. I also have some lime. I'm gonna go ahead and blend the paprika, the cayenne pepper, the white and black pepper into the kuli kuli mix. I'm gonna add the ginger, the onion and garlic powder, the Jamaican curry, the bouillon cube into that. And the reason why I added the curry, guys, is just for the color. I like that vibrant color when I'm making Suya Spice. And here you can see I'm just making sure that I mix all the ingredients pretty well. Just have to make sure everything get coated. And like I said, guys, look at it. It's well mixed. Did you guys see the color? It's like a orange, very like rich color. So now today I decided to kind of do a version of steak kebab from Sierra Leone mixed with the suya. I'm gonna add some peanut, ground peanut in the bowl. I added 3 tablespoons. Then after that, we're just gonna go ahead and add some Dorica tomato, just for the color. And we're gonna add some lime juice into that, because we also want that little bit of sour taste, just to bring out the taste, the flavor of the meat. And guys, you can add a lot of lime if you choose to. I only added 3 in mine, so feel free to do whatever you please. So here I'm adding the limes here. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mix it. I'm gonna whisk everything together just to get like a kind of a paste texture. And this is what we're gonna use, guys, to season our steak. Like I said, I know I might sound crazy, but I decided to do the Sierra Leone kebab mix with suya. I think the flavor gonna be delicious. You know that I think suya is good, but when you also add a little bit of more peanut to it, the taste is heaven. So I decided, like I said, to add more lime. So because the consistency was just too much. Here you can see my little boy here helping me cook. So just whisk it until you get that paste texture. And this guy is gonna be so delicious. This is my first time making it this way, so let's follow along. Here I'm adding some salt to the meat. That's what I like to do first before I add everything else. Again, I like cubes. I like the flavor. I'm just adding a little bit to the meat just to prep it before I add the paste to it. I'm adding some garlic powder. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add some cumin. Then I'm gonna add some olive oil. And then the reason why you wanna add the oil is just to coat, so the steak can be cooked properly when you're adding the suya spice to your meat. Here, I'm just gonna add 2 tablespoons of the paste, and I'm gonna save the rest to grill later. And guys, don't be afraid to use your hand. I love to feel my food when I'm cooking it. So this is why I'm using my hand. I'm mixing, touching the meat, making sure everything is coated, you know. Make sure you touch your meat, have a connection with your food. So after I am done mixing, like making sure that the ground nut paste is just like coated to the steak, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna use for the rice. I have tomato, I have 2 Scotch bonnet pepper, I have garlic, I have bell pepper. And guys, I did not show it to you here. I did use red onion to that. You can see when I'm about to smoke them, because I needed to make a version of like smoked rice. I smoked them, and in the meantime, after I put them in the oven, I say, hey, let me get started on the meat. So I'm gonna use those skewers to kind of put the meat together. And if you're using those one, you have to be very careful because they are super, super sharp. So I was just a little bit slow here, like making sure that everything gets in. So you have to be extremely careful. And yes, guys, you see? And the other thing as well, the steak that I use here, I didn't have any other option. Normally, if you want to use a steak, you have to use the one that's pretty much, I would say, flat. The flat one, just because you want it to be well cooked. Mine had too much muscle, but it still did the job. I'm not complaining, but next time I will pick a better version for my suya. We're almost done putting all of them in the skewer. Then what we're gonna do here, after we finish, we're just gonna use that Suya Spice, you know, to kind of coat everything. And guys, be generous, don't mind that. My Suya Spice was a little bit too spicy. Oh my goodness, it was too hot. And then my kids, they loved it, but they complained that mommy was too hot. But nonetheless, the taste was heaven. I'm telling you guys, the taste was amazing. I've never had suya like this before. The combination of the beef kebab and then the suya, perfect. Look at this. Look at that. That's just the kebab right there. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add my Suya Spice to this. Like I said, guys, I was very, very generous, more than I should have added to that steak, but I didn't care. I just wanted that spiciness along with the smoky rice, smoky jollof rice. So here we go. We're gonna pat that with the Suya Spice, just like this. Make sure you flip the skewers just to make sure the other side gets it as well, just like I'm doing here. Then once you're done with this like that, you're just gonna place it in a plate one by one, making sure that everything is coated. Then we're gonna prep the oven at 350 degrees. You're just gonna let this bake. Ideally, you want to use your outdoor barbecue, your grill, for the absolute best suya, but because it was late at night, I said forget it. I'm doing it that way. That's what I want to eat. I just went ahead and do it. But I would prefer if you guys grill it outside just to get that smokiness to your meat. Nonetheless, this tastes very, very, very good. And again, I want to say thank you to Aya Amani that wanted me to share that version of Suya Spice and jollof rice. I hope you like it. And happy birthday in advance to your husband. All right, guys, we're gonna place those in the plate, like I said, one by one. Then after that, we're just gonna go ahead and grill it. But if you can, again, use your grill outside if you want that authentic suya, you know. You just want that smokiness. And unfortunately, I couldn't do it that way. But like I said, the meat was delicious. The suya was great. The jollof was great. You just wait and then you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Let's finish patting up that meat. And then here, we're just gonna go ahead. We're gonna transfer everything to in the oven at 350 degrees to bake. So my jollof rice, pepper, garlic, onion, and tomato, everything is ready. They are smoked. I'm just gonna go ahead and add those to the blender. There we go. So I went a little bit overboard in me trying to smoke everything. So nonetheless, I don't care, guys. This tomato here is so sweet. They are small, but they are delicious. If you guys can try them, I don't know the name, but I purchased them at Giant, and they are so sweet. They are so good in jollof rice. My goodness, the taste is just on a different level. Anyway, so let's put everything in that blender, and then we're gonna blend that up. Again, if you have kids, just remove one Scotch bonnet pepper, or if you don't want to use any pepper at all, just don't use it. Mine was very hot, which was not an issue to me or to the other people, but my kids didn't really like it because of the spiciness. Nonetheless, they did enjoy it. Right here, guys, I'm just gonna mix some oil with the Suya Spice that I have here, and this is just for me to brush on the meat as soon as I remove it from the oven on the second try. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my red onions so I can start making my jollof rice. We're gonna cut that in cubes. That's how I prefer it. There we go. Gonna cut everything. Then we're gonna fry this onion, guys, at low heat until you get that sweetness. You don't want to fry it on high heat, because then you will not, the onion will not have time to release or to develop the flavor. So you have to leave it on low heat and then fry and fry and fry. I would say for a good 5 to 6 minutes. Like, make sure you fry until you see your onions becomes like translucent. So here I'm using a wooden spoon. Whenever I'm making jollof rice, I like to use wooden spoon because I do not like to use the metal one. Otherwise, you'll risk to break up your rice. So after the onion is done, I'm gonna go ahead and add some Dorica tomato. There we go. Then I'm gonna let this fry on low heat for a good 10 minutes. And guys, when I say the kitchen was smelling amazing, the smell, the sweetness of the red onion, oh my goodness. Look at that. Can you guys see? Do you see the color? Look at it. Wow, you could actually smell everything, like the aroma. It was amazing. Again, keep your fire on low heat. Keep turning. If you don't do it that way, then your tomato paste, everything gonna stick to the pot. So this is the reason why I decided to stay close. I keep on turning, because I didn't want anything to stick to the pot. Do you see that? That is after a good 10 minutes. You can see the tomato started changing color from very red to kind of dark red. And now I went ahead and added my blended onion, tomato, pepper, garlic in the pot. Then I'm gonna turn. We're gonna mix everything together. We just have to mix, and I'm gonna bring my seasoning, my black pepper, my cube, my thyme, my curry powder, my cumin. Just gonna add everything in there, my onion powder, and then we're just gonna mix it again. and then we're gonna cover, and then we're gonna let this cook. Here I'm back again, mixing on low heat because I don't want it to burn. Otherwise, if you don't mix it, your tomato sauce, your paste will burn. After 10 minutes or so, I'm adding my rice after I washed it properly like 3 times to remove the starch. Because if you don't do that, your rice will get very sticky. And then it will not give you the consistency that you're looking for a perfect jollof rice. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna mix. And guys, I do apologize. You can see I'm having a hard time mixing that. I lost my cameraman at this very moment, so I was the one holding and filming at the same time and trying to mix the rice. So it was a little bit shaky, a little bit uneven. So bear with me. We just have to turn, make sure all the grains are coated before we add water to that. Just make sure it's coated. Nothing is left behind because this step is very, very important, guys. Make sure everything is coated, all your seasoning, all your tomato paste is going straight to the rice. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and add some water. And you don't want to add a lot of water because you're gonna use aluminum foil to cover and then to do the cooking for you. Personally, I don't like mushy rice. I like my rice to be a little bit hard. That's just my preference. But if you don't like your rice like this, feel free to add more water. Here I went ahead and we take out the meat. I'm doing the first brush of the Suya Spice and then the oil because you want that meat to cook properly, and then I add it back to the oven. So this is the first 10 minutes of the cooking. I went ahead and add my tomato, my cut onions, my butter. And guys, this step is super, super important. This is for maximum flavor because the oil that you use to fry your tomato is gonna be absorbed by your rice. So you have to come here and add butter to the rice, not just for flavor, but you just want to add some type of oil, and then the butter does it best in my honest opinion. And then the flavor, oh my goodness, can you see? I'm trying to turn it. I just love the color, the tomato, the red onions in that. Oh my goodness, this rice was I can't even describe it, but it was just the best. So after I'm done turning, I'm gonna let it cook for a while, and voila guys, look at my suya. And this is the rice, not ready yet. I'm still turning because I didn't want to add water to it. Like I said, I don't like mushy rice. I like my rice to be a little bit hard. So flipping the rice from, every 5 to 6 minutes did do the job for me without adding too much water. So I keep flipping, then I added my aluminum foil to that. And then the rice was technically cooked to perfection. You guys can tell by the color, the grain, the tomato in there, the onions. Oh my goodness, everything was amazing. And then the taste of the butter at the end, it was just something else. Again, if you don't like your rice to be hard, feel free to add way more water than needs to be added. Depends on the way you like your rice texture to be. And that will be all. There we go guys, I plated the rice. I added some cucumbers, some lettuce, some red onions, some avocados, and I'm just gonna go ahead and enjoy this meal. So feel free to like and share if you like it. Comment and tell me which video I should share next. Bye bye, I love y'all.